At the river I stand, guide my feet, take my hand. Are you comfortable? Actually, I don't mean just now. I mean, I hope you're comfortable in here. I don't mean just now at this moment. I mean, are you comfortable? We are not an exclusively white congregation, but we are a largely white congregation. And I am speaking mainly to the white folks this morning. If you do not identify as white, you are absolutely invited to listen in. And feel free to grade me after church. We white folks on Martin Luther King Day, we love to hear the I Have a Dream speech. And it's a fabulous speech. We love to hear about Reverend Dr. King's dream of racial and ethnic unity and one world and one beloved community, do we not? And I include myself among you, among all of us, because that is a fabulous dream. But we are not there yet. And that is a very comfortable place to be, and I think that we cannot responsibly, over and over again on this weekend every year, talk about that dream as white people, as largely white people, until we do the hard work of examining and addressing our own comfortable spaces. Now, this letter from a Birmingham jail, Reverend Dr. King wrote that in the, you'll be surprised to know, Birmingham, Alabama jail in 1963, and he wrote it to white preachers. He wrote it to white clergy. And it was an indictment. He was saying, get off your bottoms. It is not enough to say, I support you, brother, in spirit. Things must be done. Now, we who are the beneficiaries of white supremacy culture, and I am not saying that anybody in here is an aspirational white supremacist. Okay? There is a difference. I'm not saying that we are all Klansmen in here. I'm not saying that we... Did anybody see just this week, because it happened to, you know, in my language, in my theology, the Holy Spirit works this way in terms of timing, because I don't think this was a message, this was an act of God, but did you see that these high schoolers from Covington Catholic High School who surrounded the Native American guy and were in his face? You know, we are not in a post-racial society. Racism is not over. These are young people. These aren't angry old people upset that their way of life is dying. These are high schoolers who were getting literally in the face of a Native American elder and mocking him. And that man was cool as a cucumber. You know they were trying to incite some kind of violence there. We who benefit from the perpetuation of white supremacy must examine our lives and the context in which we live if we are to dismantle this white supremacy culture. I'm not accusing any of us of being Covington Catholic High School, but we must examine the culture that allows that to exist if we are to build the beloved community, if we are to build Reverend Dr. King's dream. We stand at the shore of the river. Here we are at the shore. Now, maybe you can't swim. That's all right. We will help each other across. But what will we do? Are we just going to stay on the shore? Or will we cross over into a new way? Now, when we're comfortable, we don't have a real vested interest in getting uncomfortable, do we? It's not easy to say, yeah, I'm going to make myself uncomfortable. I'm going to give up these things because I know other people will be better off down the line, or even not even that far down the line, right now, if I make myself a little more uncomfortable. We don't have a personal vested interest in that. So it's hard work. It's hard work. If I'm a straight white man, I'm not, but if I'm a straight white man and I know that it's going to be really easy for me to get jobs and promotions because it's straight white men who get promoted, I have to stop and think about making space for other people to get into that stream. And that means more competition for me. It's risky. It's risky, but it's the right thing to do. And it means that I might not get that promotion or that job or that slot in the university that I was hoping to go to. Because somebody who doesn't have all the advantages that I've been handed might be more qualified than I am. Ooh! Somebody might be more qualified than I am. I don't just get that pass. But in the end, aren't we richer for it? So what do we do to tell ourselves that, well, I really was working for this stuff, but, you know, it's not my fault? We tell ourselves, we tell ourselves a narrative that those other people are doing things the wrong way. It's not the right time to make waves. Now, if you're old enough, I'm not calling anybody out on that, but if you're old enough, you might remember that in the 1960s, some people talked about Reverend Dr. King as, you know, he's making a lot of waves. It's not the right time. He's stirring things up. And now everybody talks about him like he was, you know, the greatest thing next to Jesus, right? He just about walked on water. But in the 1960s, everybody didn't talk about him that way. Or when Freddie Gray was killed in Baltimore, what did we hear from people? Oh, well, you know, that was a shame, but people oughtn't to be doing what in Baltimore? What did we hear? What was the big word that people were using? Rioting. They shouldn't be causing all those, oh, it's a shame that people are. But Martin Luther King Jr. himself said, rioting is the language of the unheard. Who am I from my comfortable place to say you have no right to express your rage when you are unheard? So this is what I mean by examining our own place and doing the work of dismantling systemic racism, dismantling white supremacy culture. Now, we're doing this work within the UUA. We've been doing this for a while now. And there are reports coming out all the time that you can read on the UUA website. But it's not enough just to do it. It's important to do it within our own culture. It's important to do it in society as well. So how are we going to do that? How are we going to address these issues? These issues within myself, these issues within the groups that we're in, these issues within society at large. There's good news, my friends. There is good news. Sometimes with the 24-hour news cycle, it can seem like things are getting worse and worse all the time. Anybody ever feel like that? Actually, things are getting better and better all the time, but we see more of it. More is coming to light. Reverend Dr. King tells us in the letter that we can't cover up a boil. We have to open it up and expose it. And when we open it up and expose it, we see everything that's been there all the time. And now we are seeing what has been there all the time. I don't want you to lose hope. I don't want you to go home saying, oh, the world is just a terrible place. We have exposed so much. And right now, in our current society, we're seeing some behaviors that are truly awful. We're seeing what some people call an extinction burst. I'd like to think of it as, I hope it's an extinction burst. Anybody know what an extinction burst is? So when, for example, in school, there's a new behavior program and there's a crackdown on bad behavior. You might see all of a sudden a small group of troublemakers really ramp up the troublemaking behavior for a little while. That's an extinction burst. It's not being tolerated anymore. Oh, I'll show you. Oh, apparently not. Right? So we're seeing this. We're seeing people who are getting angry because their comfortable way of life is being challenged. White people in the United States are going to become a minority soon. Personally, I say yay, about time. But some people are scared. They're scared. I've been oppressing other people all along. What's going to happen when I'm a minority? Oh, are they going to do to me what I've been doing to them? That's a real fear. And so there's this extinction burst of bad behavior. And we are seeing a lot of that. But we're seeing really good responses to it too, are we not? We're seeing people being held accountable. And we must continue to hold ourselves and each other's accountable. The work is not done, my friends. we stand at the shore. At the river I stand. Guide my feet. Hold my hand. We will do this work together. Are we ready to move forward together? Are we ready to swim, to roll, to crawl, to move forward into this work together? Are we ready? Are you with me? Can we do this work? Can we do this work? Can we do this work?
Yes.
Yes, we can. Namaste.